That's just ugly.
¿Quién es la más draga? ¿Quién es la más draga? ¿Quién es la más draga? ¿Quién es la más draga?
Hola hermanas, welcome to
¿Quién
¿Quién es la más?
más?
My name is Yi.
And I am Braulio. Before we start, remember to subscribe and rate the podcast, tell your friends about the show. It will help us immensely to get the word out. We appreciate all the support.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Today we are recapping La Más Draga Season 5, Episode 2. We are in Episode 2. We don't know how many more episodes we have, right? But usually there's around 10. So, well, it depends because stuff happened this episode that there might be more
They
than 10.
made
But
us eat our words.
oh my gosh, it was shocking.
Me las tragué completita, ya estoy lleno.
Yes, me dejaron con la boca abierta. Like seriously, like I was in shock. And I don't know why I did not expect this. I don't know why.
Why do
should
we
have.
believe him anymore?
It was such a gotcha moment.
Yeah.
Like it was just like why? Anyways, we'll talk about that more in the beginning of the episode. What were your general thoughts of the episode? Was it like a fun challenge for you, or did you think it was lacking?
Yeah, I thought it was a cute challenge, especially like watching the I guess the theme that each queen chose to represent them. Since it was about like Mexican toys, juguetes. I thought that was really cute. And then we had an actual mini challenge. Again, no winner, but we had an actual mini challenge. So at this point, it feels like they're just doing it to do it.
Yeah, it's like they just want to fill the space.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to, I mean, we notice that because they also give critiques to every single one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't.
That is a lot. That
Yeah,
is a lot to sit through, being told kind of the same stuff in a way. Like there's not much that you can tell 13 queens.
I
But
like putting myself in the shoes of the ones who are safe already. I'm like, just let me sit down. Let me sit
oh my,
down. Let me take
yes.
off my tacones, and yeah, you can deliberate.
They're all sitting down, like the judges are all like there just reading them, and they have to stand there for I don't even know, maybe an hour, 2 hours
You
while they
know.
go through every single person.
Mhm.
I cannot. And then I kind of did not like I know that I said that I liked the judging, um, the way they split up the judging, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's working now. I feel like we get the same stuff from Letal now every single
Hmm.
time. Like it's just kind of like do
Even
more, do more, do more.
yeah, and even well, she was saying that for every single queen, and
Yeah.
even if they did fix it, like if they followed the rules, as who was there was one that she specifically pointed out about her using like a white highlight to highlight her eyes,
Hmm.
and she said, oh yeah, she listened. And I think she gave her, I think it was Fifi, and that's why she gave her like the top ranking. um but even then, like, she still told her to, oh, I don't see it, you need to do it more. But then afterwards she's like, oh yeah, she did it.
Yeah, and it doesn't work because unless we're getting like a full close up of their makeup,
Hmm.
then we don't understand what she's saying
And
because we only see it through the
yeah,
camera.
and they're not seeing it either because they're pretty far from the stage. You need to be close up in order to see the details of the makeup.
Yeah, yeah. Like if this was a makeup challenge, I would understand. but just going in on all the makeup, every single doesn't work. It just doesn't work as well. Unless she would go, the only thing I can think of is she would go into the workroom and maybe just give them like a little lesson or something. That I think that would have been a better way to implement
Hmm.
the makeup portion of the show or of drag.
Remember in the first few seasons, they had like guest people who would come and like help them with the makeup, with the wigs and stuff like that, and they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, they kind of lost that, I guess, and they just focus on other stuff. But yeah, let's get into this episode. So this week is full of surprises. On the second episode of La Más Draga, Paper Cut enters the competition, and Uma Kyle is dragged back from hell to compete again. In the mini challenge, the queens have an opportunity to win immunity in a game of trivia. This week's challenge is La Más Juguete. Fifi Está is named La Más of the Week, while Santa Lucia y Deseo Fab are Las Menos. They both battle it out in a lip sync to 1, 2, 3, Go by Belanova. Deseo's Fab becomes the actual first queen to be added to the drag altar, where she will be remembered. So Deseo is the first one, the actual first one. Doesn't that suck? Like being like, yay, I wasn't the first one, and then now cut to second episode, you are the first to go.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's start with the beginning where we are introduced, which we saw in the last episode in the ending, that Paper Cut came out of that coffin
Hmm.
and he's back in the competition. He's officially back, and so we're introduced to him. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I since it's our first drag drag queen that comes back from for another season. Um, I mean, I always liked Paper Cut, so I'm glad to see that he's back and want to see what he has to show. Apparently, some of the queens felt differently, as we'll see, or we'll talk about later for the Camerino Knicks.
Yes, we will. And then so we are introduced to the challenge, which is again La Más Juguete. We're there to present a look that is representative of their drag, plus implementing not a what is it called? Like an antique toy, I guess, like a Mexican antique toy.
Yeah, like a
Nothing very
handmade
modern.
or without the use of like technology.
Yeah, like very yo-yo, like very simple
Hmm.
stuff. Um, so yeah, we're introduced to the challenge, and then we hear from Rogelio Suarez, which is a new person on the show that is kind of like
Apparently,
apparently, yeah,
the
because
new Pepe Teo.
he replaced Pepe
Yeah,
Teo on the
yeah.
season, and he's fun. I can say he's fun. I don't know if love his energy, but I feel like he brings at least some liveliness. And he goes backstage and gives the girls a surprise and us a surprise because I was convinced that this person was gone. He brings back Uma Kyle,
Hmm.
and yeah, so she's back again in the competition. So yeah, what was your thought on this?
I was like, what? Like we were saying earlier, this is what we were alluding to earlier, that I mean, the tradition continues that there are no eliminations in the first episode of the season. Um, which that's not what they led us to believe last time, but here we are. They took it back.
Yeah, I think they should have, and it was so badly done. It was so not even, there was no anticipation. There was no.
Hmm.
He literally just went backstage, grabbed her, and told everybody else she's back. That's literally what
Hmm.
happened, and it was so anticlimactic, so like not a production. They could have implemented some kind of challenge,
True.
maybe like do a kind of like a mini challenge where she has a chance to get back,
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
But no, it was so lazy, so lazy. Just like Drag Race. Remember Drag Race? They brought those Diabetes and Orion Story
Mhm.
when they got eliminated, and they just brought him back. It's like, oh yeah, you're back. It never worked. I don't think it works. It just leaves you like, why? Like
Yeah.
asking why.
Yeah.
It's like not doesn't make sense. Anyways, good for her. She is back. And we get to the mini challenge where they have to answer trivia questions, mostly based on the show and kind of questions that have to do with things
I wouldn't say they were based
and
on the show
people.
at all.
No,
It was like
some questions were like left, like they were just from I don't know where.
it was a lot of like questions, like clinical reproduction questions.
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah, because it was sponsored, right? It was sponsored by the
Yeah. How could we forget?
yeah, the brand. So obviously they were gonna implement that into
Hmm.
the mini challenge. So this was all just a commercial.
And they covered them in poop.
Yeah, it was like this was so weird. Like imagine being a product and selling it and like asking La Más Draga if they can, promote it,
Yeah.
and they decide to make your product be correlate or have some kind of be thought of as something that where you it just they used something that looked like poop,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
to
And
promote the product. But imagine being the CEO of this company and seeing that they implemented this into your product. You're like, what are they doing? But yeah, so that's what happened. Anyways, they did a trivia and nobody won. They had a chance to win immunity.
yeah,
So whoever
they
won
were gonna get
would,
immunity.
yeah, they would get an immunity from a lip sync, I believe, right? So yeah, what did you think of this whole debacle, this whole like mini challenge?
I mean, just the fact that there was no winner, it sucked. But I think the actual
I know they could have had like a tiebreaker after that. Like they didn't have another. So the way that it happened is they had three of them at the end, right? So everybody kind of failed the questions. Three of them passed, and then they asked one more questions to see whoever got the right question, the right answer, they would win.
Mhm.
But none of them got it. None of the three finalists got it, and then they just said nobody wins. They could have had another question. Like, really? You're not gonna like try to get a winner? It was
Yeah.
just. I feel like they don't want anybody to win.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Um, I mean, it wasn't a total waste of time just because I think the questions were fun, or just having them like have fun or not covered in whatever that was. Um, but yeah, I mean, the results of the challenge was no.
Yes, it was like they're always trying to mess up their drag. Like literally, they're like, why did they have to be in drag for this? Why?
That's true. I was thinking like their poor wigs, and I think Hidden Mistake was wearing white, and I'm like, that's not gonna come off.
Oh no. So imagine being on the Más Draga and well, like last week they were saying, oh, the designers never come through, whatever, and now they're destroying their design. So who's doing more harm to these queens? Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, the mini challenge was a waste of something that could have been really cool. But it was funny. Like I will say that it was funny. Like their answers were funny and stuff. But I feel like they would have had a winner, it would have made it worth it.
Hmm.
Um, all right, so we move away from the mini challenge, and they keep well, they go back into the camerino to get ready,
Yeah.
whatever, right? Um, and some of them kind of get into this. Well, they get into the topic of, do you guys agree that Paper's back,
Mhm.
and some of them don't. Some of them are saying that he has an advantage over them,
Mhm.
but then they also come up with the some of them are also so the way that they cast the queens, that some of them were already had some of them were revealed before the rest of them. So there was, I think, like three of them that were already known to be casted, and then the rest were just kind of secret. They were secret and until it aired. So those three that were already casted, obviously they could go around and do whatever, and ask for designers to make their clothes without being worried about being discovered.
Mhm.
Anyways, that was kind of what they were saying that Paper Cut had over them as well. So what did you think of this? Because I thought it was very interesting that some of them had a problem with it, but they also had but they didn't have an issue with the other queens having an advantage, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I want to talk specifically about Santa Lucia because apparently her and Paper Cut are good friends.
Yes.
And Santa Lucia expresses that like she feels offended that Paper didn't tell her that she was going to be on the show or that he was going to be on the show, even though Santa Lucia did disclose to Paper that she was going to be on it. And which is like, well, I had a confidentiality agreement just like y'all, and I couldn't tell you. And to me, it sounded more like Santa Lucia wanted Paper to help her get an advantage over the other queens, like coming right into the competition by like Paper, I don't know, giving Santa Lucia either like hints or um, advice on what to do, how to present herself, stuff like that, like any kind of advantage. And it sounded more like she was mad at Paper for not helping her with that kind of stuff.
Yes, that's what she said. But then Paper also said that he was busy. He was
Yeah,
touring. He couldn't really find the time. And plus, it comes to light that he did send her money.
yeah.
He helped her in that way because he couldn't do other stuff for her. So he did help her in financially,
Hmm.
which is big. I mean, not a lot of people. You need money to be on this show, so it's really big. Not everybody's gonna do that. I don't know. To me, this might be my wrong take, my wrong reading on this situation, but it seemed like she was just she was like, this is my moment, in a way, like, this is my moment. I'm talking about Santa Lucia. um and I don't like that you're here, because then I have to share this moment with you, in a way,
Hmm.
like you already had your chance, like, let me
Hmm.
do it, let me shine. And there was a little bit of that kind of like insecurity.
Some of the other
um
queens were definitely saying that, yeah, that they just felt like, okay, you're from season 4, so give season 5 to us.
yeah, and to me, I don't know, I would not be mad at somebody, because if I would understand that they had to sign an NDA, I would not be mad at them. I'll be like, yeah, I understand, you didn't have to tell me, like, I understand.
Yeah,
And plus, you gave me money, like. So to me, it seemed
exactly.
like she was pissed about something else. Like, it was like
Hmm.
she was a little, just like, why are you here, kind of thing.
Hmm.
But they made up.
I know.
They made up afterwards.
They hugged it out.
They hugged it out. Hopefully she doesn't get any paper cuts. But what did you think about the other girl saying that paper cut didn't deserve to be there? Or, I mean, that he had an advantage, which is true. I think obviously he does have an advantage. But what did you think of that?
In some ways, sure, but at the same time, as uh, who said Raquel, the new judge, expressed during the retroalimentación, she says that they're gonna be more harsh on Paper because this is his second round. So it has its advantages and disadvantages as well.
Yes. But I feel like that one of them made a good point. I think it was Peke, that some of the girls, like I said, like I think Lisa, she's one of the girls that had already been known to be casted because they cast publicly, right? And not only that, but she's connected to Pepe Teo. She's been on their YouTube channel. She's very well connected in that way. So she has an upper hand against them in that aspect too. She has resources. And and that's just part of the game, you know? Some people come in with more advantages than others, and it's just about who kind of takes those advantages and really uses them, because at the end of the day, yes, you might have more money, but doesn't mean that you're going to, yeah, that your ideas are going to be good, you know.
Mhm.
So it's just part of the game. I feel like, yes, they do have an advantage, but that's not a bad thing. It's just the way that you have to navigate. It's like life, no? Some people do have advantages, some people don't, and it's just up to you to really make the most out of this experience in the competition.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, did you have anything more to add to this scene or anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No, I mean they ended up this scene with in the camerino. They just after they got over this um paper cut thing, then they just started talking about their personal lives and like their tough childhoods and
Yes, hidden story was really, I gotta say, like that was touching.
yeah. They just had a little cry together and offered support for each other.
Yeah, you know, it goes full circle. They always start off fighting and then they end up hugging until next episode. All right, so let's go into the challenge. The challenge is La Más Juguete. And first up, we have Aisha Doll's Kill. What did you think of this look?
I like the idea. So Aisha's doing like a balero, right? Which is typically made of like wood. So I like the idea of it. I don't think the execution. For example, like the bare chest, I think it ruins the effect. But yeah, I mean, you clearly see the juguete that she's representing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like production, right? Like it's like a cool kind of reveal kind of thing that she does. But is it like super fashion, or I don't know. Am I like super into it? No, but I think she did a good job in doing the challenge, which is to, you know, to implement that kind of the toy into her drag.
Mhm.
The next one is Isabella y Catalina, the twins. What did you think of the twins here?
So they are representing luchadores, right? And
Mhm.
they had some choreo throughout the time that they were on stage. They were wrestling and stuff, which was cute. I think that's what kind of we wanted from them last time, right? We
Yes.
Yeah, because last time they were mostly just walking around. So this time they went a little further. Probably the nerves of being the first time on stage went away, and now they had props and everything. So yeah, that was cool. The looks are nice as well. They're a little plain, but I mean, you clearly can tell that they're luchadores. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I appreciated their routine. I think it was really cool the way that they choreographed it. It was fun. It was not taking themselves too seriously. Like they showed that they have the ability to do more than just, you know, walk down the runway.
Mhm.
And the looks were cute. They were really cute. I do think one of the judges mentioned that it was missing a little bit of the luchador, just a little bit. Like it was maybe too cartoonish in a way, or it's kind of superhero.
Mhm.
Um, and less luchador, but it did have those elements, which it did. If you look at it and you see some of the details, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it brings that. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Is it my favorite? No, but I think they did a really good job. The next one up is Deseos Fab.
And Deseos is representing a títere, so a puppet, and or a marionette kind of thing. I wish the like the dress that she was wearing was more traditional of what a Mexican títere looked like. This, I was like, is she trying to be like a cake topper or something? It's obviously a títere because of the strings, right? But I don't think the dress said that. It just read more Barbie-ish. The only thing that she did for her makeup was like the mouth to make it seem, and she didn't do a very good job of moving it like a puppet. So yeah, I think just the idea was there, but yeah, lacking in execution.
Yeah, I think one of the judges said it well, that she didn't move like a marionette. She was kind of more moving like a doll instead of a marionette. And the dress itself I don't like it. Like, I just don't think it's a nice dress. I don't think it's a cool dress. I just don't get. I like the bow. That's the one thing I do like, the bow. But that's pretty much it. I don't really like the rest of it. It's just kind of flouncy and doesn't really. I don't know. It doesn't really do much for me. It's just a regular dress. And why not have like marionettes are more. I don't know. They have more of a design to them. No, it's not just like a plain dress with a bow on it. Yeah, I agree. She just needed to sell it better. The next one on the runway is Fifi Está. What did you think of Fifi?
This was like the most inventive look tonight. I mean, the whole performance she had, that was really cool. So she had like another, what'd you call it, like a puppet, or I don't know, it was tied to
it was like a cutout.
Yeah, but it moved with her. As she moved, it moved like it was punching her. So she was like a boxeador, a boxer, and yeah, it was really cool how she thought of that. And I really liked her makeup because she put some like drops of blood around her nose, her lip, and so it gave that effect that she had been boxing this wooden puppet thing. Yeah, this was a really cool look.
Yeah, I agree. It was one of the ones that really stood out, and obviously she won the challenge, so the judges enjoyed it. Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea. Was it a little clunky? Yes. You know, it's hard to move in, obviously. Yeah. But I really love the fact that she went for it, and she sold it. Like, she was very playful. I guess the outfit would be the only thing that I'm like, it's not the most amazing thing, but the whole thing together, like the fact that she just put that together, really made for a great presentation. And I think that's a lot of the times what matters on this show, because sometimes you can have a great dress, but they're always asking for like more and more and more, and why aren't you flipping and doing twirls and doing some kind of presentation? And I think this really played to what they look for. So I think it was really good. And I love the shoes that are like boxer shoes, but they're still boots. Like, they still have a heel on it. That's really cute. All right, the next one is Greta White. She came in. What do you call these?
In Spanish is a matatena, but it's Jax.
Jax, there you go. Yeah. I actually really love this look. I thought it was really streamlined, not too tacky, where some of these looks went. I thought it was really streamlined. I love the fact that she didn't, just put everything on and say, oh yeah, she could have just glued a whole bunch of these things to it and, just gone way overboard. But she had that one big piece on her hair. I love the color scheme. She didn't sell it for me. I think she could have added something else to her presentation. But I love the dress itself. I love the design. What did you think?
Like I like it because it's playful and I like the colors, the color combination, the color story, but ultimately, like, if you just see that, it's like, what? I mean, we know the theme is toys, right? Juguetes, but I don't think you can really tell from that. I think it's a little too simple to portray that. I don't know, she could have had a dress that's more three-dimensional, where she's wearing one of the little jacks things. I don't know, something more. As is, I mean, it's fine. And I, like you said, I didn't really like her presence on stage. She was like acting all bratty, and I don't know where that came from.
No, I don't either. I think if she would have just sold it as a model, it would have been, she would have sold it like even more. Like, she doesn't have to do all that. Just kind of like, if you're a model, she's the one that says she's like fashion, right? High fashion or something. Yeah, just sell it. Just be fierce on the runway, and I think they'll appreciate that more than something that you're just kind of putting on. But yeah, I enjoyed it. The next one is Hidden Mistake. I did not get this reference. I think she was some kind of
the reference was hidden.
It was very hidden, and I didn't get it, but I think it was some kind of drum.
Tamborín de madera.
Tamborín de madera. Yeah. So this is really cute. I love it. I don't know how, or why. I guess I know why, but she reminded me of Cifer, and we find out in this episode that she is from the house of Cifer.
Yeah, I mean, she said it last time too.
Oh, she did? Maybe that's why. I was like, why does she look like that? But no, yeah. So it's just totally like something that Cifer would do. I don't know if Cifer designed this or what, or they both kind of designed stuff together, but it's very that. And I love it. I loved Cifer last time, and this is really cool. I just wish I would have gotten the reference.
Yeah, I mean, if you look closely, you can see the elements if you compare it to Tamborín de Madera. But, like, for example, like the balls, the tamborín usually has like two little strings, and at the end it has balls, and that's kind of what you use to drum it. But yeah, I mean, just looking at it, it's kind of like because you're looking for that shape, right, of a drum, and it just doesn't have it. So yeah, you kind of get lost. But it's a really cute look, without taking that out of it. I don't know if it was the best for the challenge, but I think the look is really cool.
The next one up is the last person that was eliminated but came back. Uma Kyle is up, and I didn't like this at all. To me, she was maybe the worst. I just don't get this. I feel like it's just literal. It's too literal. Like, I don't like it. What did you think?
Yeah, it's literal and it's ill-fitting. The execution was not there. The color combination and like the strips of fabric that she had, they didn't look good at all. Yeah, this was pretty bad. She could have gone something with, even if it didn't have that structure that the pirinola has. I think that's what they call a little dreidel thing. She could have like written those things like on the dress, instead of having just like a bucket on her. Yeah, this was pretty bad.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me anything about her. Has no unique point of view. The next one up is Light King. What did you think of Light King?
We already had a piñata last week. I don't know. Is it cheating to use a piñata? Because is it really a toy? I don't know that it's a toy. But I mean, the look was well made. I will say that a lot of the judges pointed out that she just had too many ideas, too many not completely conflicting, but too many things going on in the dress, because she had like the calavera, the skull, and she had the piñata elements, yet also Frida Kahlo. So it was just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, she was representing the LGBT. Like, it was,
if you have to explain it as she had to do for the judges, then something's not right.
Why not just if you're trying to do LGBT referencing the flag or whatever, do just a rainbow piñata or something.
Yeah,
I think that would have been better, or yeah, it would have gotten the point across better. And then they came out with a sign that said something about don't forget your childhood or something like that, it was just written on a piece of paper, like literally, like she just got a piece of paper and got a marker and wrote it on there. It's kind of it was just like, why? Like, don't even bother. The next one up is Liza Zansuzi. She is, I don't know what she is.
I don't either. I know she comes out like in a veladora, no? Like a candle.
Yeah.
But then she comes out of the back of it, and I don't know, she's dressed in like basket weaving, which I think is traditionally made out of like palma, like palm trees. But other than that, like
they referenced that somebody didn't go along with her routine. Did you notice that? Like one of the venenos.
I remember them saying something, but I didn't watch it again, so I'm not really.
No, I
just think she didn't really. Just the fact that we didn't notice that, it means like she didn't really include them in the staging of it all. So why even have them up there in the first place?
Yeah, it was an okay look. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, I think the best part was just the reveal that she had that kind of
like the vela.
But she came out of like this box and it had smoke coming out of it.
Yeah, it was like a vela. It was
okay, like yeah, it was cool. The next one up is the returnee, Paper Cut. What did you think of Paper Cut?
So Paper Cut is representing I think they call it a molinillo, like a pinwheel. Looking very Willy Wonka-ish as always.
Yes.
It's a cool look. I think it's just too literal. Like, it has the same problems that Uma Kyle's had, but obviously the execution is much better. But yeah, it's not that clever, I will say, but it looks super well made. Definitely got that 4th season money.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, it's just really, it's cool, and the only thing is that if you take those things away, the fans, then you wouldn't know what the outfit was or what the reference was. So I think he should have incorporated some of that into the actual outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
But I liked it. I think it was, I mean, it served a little bit of drama on the stage. And I personally don't have a problem with the makeup. I feel like he does change up the makeup with different colors, but I think he's always going to have that white face. I don't know if I've ever seen him without that white face, but we'll see. I mean, Letal did mention something to him, so we'll see. The next one up is Peque Valderas. What did you think of Peque?
Peque is representing a trompo, which is, how do you say that in English? Like a Beyblade.
A Beyblade, an old school Beyblade.
Like a spinny top kind of thing. I don't know, but anyway, that's what she's doing. I think I like the reveal look much more than what she had actually representing the item, the toy, because that just seemed like badly made, badly dyed or painted, whatever. I feel like it would have benefited from having more structure on that piece, because typically it's made out of like wood, so it should look like wood. And but yeah, I mean, the element of the actual reveal, pulling the string and all that was cool. I do think the reveal look, it looks like she ran out of string or material, like in the back, because you can just see her booty.
Yeah, I didn't get the to me the styling of it was off. Like the big necklace, like the hair, it was just off. Like I like the idea, the fact that, like you said, the reveal, that was cool, but yeah, it's kind of poorly made. It was still effective, like it did work, so that's really good. But the fact that the styling is just off for me, like the glove, the opera glove, the big necklace, the hair, it's just, to me, it's just not, it's not pleasing to my eye personally. I do like the dress, I just think the styling could have elevated the look more. The next one and the last one is Santa Lucia. What did you think of Santa Lucia representing a yo-yo?
I only know that because she's spinning.
Yeah. Barely spinning.
Yeah.
Like she was just...
I don't... why is the color element like striped and like Beetlejuice-like, and it's very messy.
I don't know.
It's very messy. Like I said, you can only tell it's a yo-yo because she's spinning the whole time. But other than that, it's like, again, this was one of the worst.
Literally, I'm looking at it right now. Do not get where the yo-yo part is. Like, why do a yo-yo if you can't do a yo-yo? You know, why choose that? You're just setting yourself up.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so the winner is Fifi Está, and the two menos of the week are Santa Lucia and Deseos Fab, and they do the lip sync to that Belanova song. It was a cute song, and Deseos ends up being the one eliminated. All right, so what did you think of the winner? Did you agree or did you disagree? And did you like this lip sync?
I think Fifi Está was the top for me, so I'm glad that they recognized that. And the ones who went to the lip sync, honestly, they could have thrown in Uma in there as a third lip syncer. Because I didn't like her look either.
Uma Kyle could have taken somebody's place in the bottom.
I think the lip sync, they both kept up with the energy, so it wasn't totally flat. I do think Santa Lucia was more versatile and she worked the stage more, whereas Deseos just kind of stood in the same spot and waved her hands around and stuff. So yeah, I can see how Deseos ended up eliminated.
She just didn't give enough, and compared to Santa Lucia, which she was giving a lot more. So yeah, rest in peace. Deseos. She remind you a little bit of Trixie? I mean, I know that it's always like. By the way, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of queens are trying to be I'm the doll, or like they all have not all of them, but a lot of queens are inspired by dolls, and it's gonna be hard to not compare you to Trixie at some point. Um, I don't know if you should even do that anymore. At least do some other kind of doll, like maybe a scary doll or something. But like she literally has that kind of same aesthetic. And it's very like, girl, are you doing this just to, to appeal to those fans or
Which I'm sure Trixie's not the first one to do it either, but she is the most popular one. She was the more
yes.
prominent one. That's who people got to
Like I
know.
personally wouldn't do that. If I was, I am a drag queen, but if I was I'm not gonna be inspired by something that is already so well known and
Yeah,
try
true.
to do that
Some
because you're just gonna
and
get
it's
compared.
just the makeup and the aesthetic is so.
It's signature.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you could only do it a certain way. Like you can totally tell, okay, so this is what she's trying to do.
Yes.
But I was gonna mention what's her name, the new host, Maka. I
Uh-huh.
really hate the cynicism with which she says, "Será recordada o no?" Like that's just ugly. Like I don't understand why she feels I don't know if someone told her to say it or whatever, but I don't like that. Like just it was
I think it's in the script. I think she just probably delivers
could
it
be, but
very
it
dry.
wasn't there before. They only said será recordada. And then they go to like their little sad moment where they say their goodbyes. And I don't know, that kind of cuts the intention of that moment when she says that.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it does seem like you're kind of like saying you're not gonna be remembered,
Mm-hmm.
or she is saying that,
Yeah,
right? That's pretty much what she's saying. So,
yeah. She's saying you might be remembered or not.
which is true. It is true. It's just the moment, or maybe in the wrong
And the
tone of voice.
exactly, it's in bad spirit to me.
So we're gonna write a letter to the producers. Why are you writing these scripts? Somebody shady wrote that. Somebody shady backstage is like, yeah, I'm gonna put them porque some of them we don't even remember these. We don't even remember them. So like, le voy a poner ahí que no like, yeah,
I don't know. I feel like maybe it was Maka's choice to bring something or put her own stamp on what they're doing there.
Well, you can watch that 1 hour behind the scenes episode that they always post and maybe find out. All right. Thank you so much for joining us here at Quién es la Más. Tell them where they can follow us.
You can follow the podcast on Instagram at Quien es la Más, where you can see the looks of the week. And we have our email address, which is quieneslamaspodcast@gmail.com, where you can write us, ask any questions, comments that we can read on the show. And yeah, please don't forget to rate and subscribe. It helps us a lot. We would appreciate that. And where can they find you, Yi?
You can find me on TikTok. Yes, I'm a TikTok Instagram influencer. Just kidding. But you can follow me on TikTok if you want. It's at Yes, It's Yee. So yeah, thank you so much again, and we will see you next week where no one will get. Well, probably they'll bring her back again,
Oh no.
right? That's what's gonna happen, I'm sure. Or Guajaro's gonna come out of another coffin, something. All right, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Adios. And they covered them in poop.